You okay? Scott? Well, we will call to order the Madison Central School District regular school board meeting on Monday, February 9th, 2015. Are you stepping in, Mr. Schaefer, and reporting the members present or absent? And President Farrell is joining us via FaceTime from Florida. So it appears with his presence we have a quorum. So we will move on to agenda item number 4.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Item number 5 is the approval of the agenda. I believe there's no changes.
Well, there is a correction to the minutes,
Okay.
and we can talk about that when we get down there, but how we would like to do it.
Should I address that in number 6, approved consent item,
Yeah.
agenda items?
That would be what I would do, Cammy, I think.
Okay. So first we'll approve the agenda, noting that we will have a correction of the minutes on number 7 when we get there. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I would, second.
Okay, so Charlie with the motion and Tom with the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Declare the motion as passed, and we'll move on to item number 6, which is to approve the consent agenda items number 7 through 9. And I believe with number 7, the approval of minutes from the January 12th meeting, we're going to have a correction to that, stating that Ms. Thompson left just shortly before we adjourned. About 5 minutes early. About 5 minutes early, so.
Okay.
We will make that correction in the January 12th minutes if everyone's okay with that. Number 8 was approval of bills. Charlie and Steve reviewed the bills and financial reports.
As far as I know, without any other things, I think it was showed well.
Okay,
It was in good order.
everything looked good
Okay.
on that
We're
side.
good.
And Charlie, same?
Yeah.
Okay.
good.
Excellent. And then number 9 is the personnel actions. Did you want to
Sure.
present them?
We have the opportunity, or the request at least, to accept early retirement request from Craig Peterson. Craig is a high school guidance counselor, has served the district over a number of years. I forget how many it is. Do you remember how many it is, Mitch? Anyhow, he's submitted his request for retirement. He is eligible.
Okay.
We also have the resignation of Kayla Strine as an, excuse me, elementary Title I, effective February 27th. This will impact the elementary, and Miss Janelle will have to tell us how she's going to handle that. There are a few issues to her. We got time yet. And then Nick at the elementary playground aide, effective January 30th. And then we have a lane change. Valerie Wilkins is moving across from the Masters to the Masters plus 15. So that it amounts to an increase in pay for her. And she did notify the district office by July 1st of 2014 as per the policy. And so her pay will be upgraded and prorated to the end of this rest of this contract in accordance.
Okay.
So with that, I would recommend that you approve those items.
All right. Thank you. So do we have a motion to approve consent items number 7 through 9, also taking into consideration the minute correction? Ms. Thompson?
So moved.
So moved. Jenny? Second?
Second.
Second will go to Steve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passed. And we will move on to number 10. Hearing of delegations and written communications from school patrons. Don?
I just wanted to come in regards to the State One Act that was held over the weekend and thank the board for providing our transportation to the State One Act in Sioux Falls at O'Gorman. Their facility was fabulous. So we had a bus and then we used the Suburban and the trailer, and the new trailer was spectacular. It held all of our stuff, and so we're so very pleased that the district has purchased that so that we were able to utilize that and not have to go ask someone else for their trailer. It was just really, worked out really well for what our needs were. And even though the kids didn't receive a Superior, it was probably by far the best one that they performed, that they had. And the judges only gave out 18 Superiors out of 48 schools, so they were pretty particular about what was happening. There were 7 AA Superiors, 5 A Superiors, and 6 B Superiors this year. Last year they gave away 7 to each of the divisions, so they were down a little bit this year, 3 awards. So just wanted to give you an update on that, and we thought it was a very successful season, so we were very pleased with the kids. Getting to state's the biggest hurdle. That's the toughest thing to do there. So thank you for providing our transportation today.
Thank you. Item number 11 is the administrator's report.
I just wanted to inform the board that kindergarten roundup and screening, that process will start March 5 and 6. And that's, we're in the preparatory stages right now. We'll be contacting the preschools and then advertising in the newspaper and on our website and with the chamber, so we can let as many people who fall in that 5-6 area know that we can and get them signed up so we can get them screened and placed for next year.
You said the dates on that were?
March 5 and 6.
5 and 6, okay. Thank you. Vince, would you like to go, otherwise?
Sure.
Okay.
The high school, in the absence of anybody from high school, we have the 8th to 11th grade group doing registration already for school year 15-16. And it seems a little early, but it isn't actually early because we're past the 100th day and we're in the middle of February almost. So we'll be, we'll be there before we know it. But what it does is allows us to get the pre-registration done and also do then a projection as to what classes are able to be held next year, and our teaching assignments and et cetera. All correlates with the issuance of contracts for teachers in March, and knowing where we are, so to speak, long and short as far as class assignments for teachers. We also want to just let you know that we have Christy Olson had the 2015 business plan competition in Pierre, and there are a number of kids that competed across the state. I think there were 65 plans submitted, and there were like 7 finalists for the 25th annual business plan competition, and 2 of those 7 were from Madison. And so we are very proud of Amanda Rickey and her work, and their plan title was The Sweet Things. And yes, it was about baking and cooking, like in a bakery, etc. And then Heath Williams, for his plan, putting, greens, mini golf. And so these 2 young people and their parents are invited to Pierre this Wednesday at the Ramkota Convention Center for a continued competition and awarding of iPads and cash prizes on February 11th, evening of February 11th, or the day of February 11th. And there's an evening of reception and awards dinner. So that's a really extremely positive thing for Christy Olson and her department. This is not the first time we've had kids out there for this, but I think it's the first time we've had 2 out of 7 that I remember. Also, then we had a visit from a gentleman, I think his name was David Anderson, came and talked to counseling department. He's the first contact we've had from the government or the state level of where the money has been raised to enhance returning workers to the workforce. If you recall that there was a combined, I think it was like $50 million or something like that, gathered together, funded by a donation from T. Danny Stanford and $25 million contribution by the state government to form that South Dakota Futures Fund. And down the road, they're just talking a little bit about internships and that type of thing. The reason they came to us is because we're already there and doing that. And so that's why he came and talked to our people. So, again, it just shows that we're on the cutting edge, maybe out there a little bit ahead of the masses on that. And of course, that's exactly, where we want to be. And the last thing that I would have would be the fact to remind you that the window for signing up to run for the board ends at the end of the month. Correct? So just reminding you two of that window of opportunity. Other than that, that's all I have.
I know Charlie and I also had the opportunity to meet with the administration team regarding the calendar, and Charlie would give a report
Yeah,
on that.
I thought it was actually a really interesting meeting to sit down and hear the due diligence that's gone into a school calendar. Because when you sit from the outside, you don't see all the mechanisms that go into play, and the parties that go into play. They did make some changes to March that we will see when do you know when we'll see the next?
You'll see it in the March meeting.
In the March meeting. They made some changes to make March a little better. March is just a challenge with the way Easter fell. But they did take away Easter Monday from school on that day. They took a half day on March 15th, which changed to a full day, conferences being in the evening. So I mean, they made 3 or 4 different adjustments that I think fit better to the education of the students. And I appreciate all the time you guys put into that. But I think to me, it was very interesting to hear what goes into play in the decision-making process and all the sides that are part of that decision. So I thought it was a very good meeting to be a part of.
Mitch, did you have anything? All right. So moving on to item number 12.
Tammy, could I maybe ask a couple of quick questions?
Certainly.
The first one is, I think all of the board members received something today from Associated School Boards regarding the day in Pierre for school board members. Is there anyone that is looking at or possibly going to attend that on behalf of the district?
What was the date on that again?
It's next Tuesday. I would love to, Tom, but Monday's a holiday for us, and it's really hard to be gone Tuesday right after a Monday holiday.
Okay. There's a lot happening out
Tuesday,
there.
February 17th would be on this one.
I was a part of a conference call last evening with the executive board of Associated School Boards on this capital outlay issue. And supposedly there were some decisions that were going to be at least presented back to the Associated School Boards and things. And then I think going hand in hand with that, last Friday, I think most of us became aware that Governor Dugard created a blue ribbon task force to analyze education and the funding and things. And I think we as a board want to try to keep our ears as close to that as we possibly can. I know the position from the executive board was that those items for the change in the capital outlay funding be delayed until that blue ribbon task force was completed. And so kind of keep your ears and eyes open for emails coming out of ASBSD, and if we need to, be sure to get a hold of our local legislators.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Anything else from anyone? Good.
That whole climate out there is changing every day, if not every hour. And there are those who are advocating for that capital outlay bill to be tabled and put into the blue ribbon study. And then there are those who are saying that, well, that's a separate issue and they're going to push it through this year. I believe it was on the docket for tomorrow, but I think they moved it back to Thursday. I'm not sure as to what, if it's in the House or if it's in the committee or wherever it is. But anyhow, it was supposed to come before some level tomorrow. But I think they put that back till Thursday. So it's kind of a day-to-day deal as to when it'd be a good time to go out there, if you're going to be talking about the capital outlay bill.
The information we had last night, Vince, was that it definitely was moved to Thursday primarily because of the number of school boards and superintendents that would have board meetings tonight. And it's a House bill, so I believe it's going to be in a House committee, but I don't believe it's going to be in education. I think it might actually be in taxation.
Oh, probably so, yeah. Well, I know they were trying to see how many superintendents would come out.
You know the way.
Yeah, been there, done that, yeah.
Item number 12 is consider the agreement with the Madison Area Career Learning Center, which Rob has pulled up on the screen for everyone to review. Mitch, you have some
I
information
have a
on
little
that?
bit of insight on them. We have 2 students that they're working with currently, and it can be more, but these are more with a little bit more need than we are able to provide. So we made an agreement with the Career Learning Center in Madison to meet some of these needs. And this is kind of agreement, it's $40 per hour, and then there's a Best Plus test, which helps determine level and things that gets administered once per child. So kind of drafted an agreement, professional services agreement for consideration for this usage. It can expand, and when we have need for it, they've been very flexible with us, and it's actually worked really well for us.
Allows us to meet the requirements of Title III with ESL requirements for the school.
Is there a motion to approve item number 12, the agreement with the Madison Area Career Learning Center?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Jenny. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Item number 13 is consider approval to advertise and seek bids for a high school roof section. Mitch, you have some insight again?
With this one, it's kind of our standard procedure. We're working through the high school roofs. We bid, like with this one, we're bidding 3 sections. This is just kind of advertising that I put on the paper. We bid 3 sections, then we bid a few alternates. So depending on where price comes in, and as we're getting set for our capital budget for this next year, we'll go back and forth depending on how much we have for funds available. We are looking at sections kind of on the northern side. We just did some sections on the south side, and we patched the one that's almost right above us, actually over that way, but
Yeah.
so the sections we're looking, I mean, the estimated dollar amount would be between 100 and 170,000, depending on how many sections and what the price points come in. But when they come in, we can accept some or none, or this is just a go seek bids and get pricing from companies on it.
You said there's 3 sections.
We have 3 in the base bid, and then we have, I believe, 2 as alternates. In addition to that, so like last year, we got a really good price point, so we were able to take another alternate and get that completed.
Is there a motion to approve item number 13? So moved by Jenny, a second? Second by Steve?
Thanks.
Second by Steve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. For item number 14, we'll move into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 125-2, Section 3 for legal matters. Declare a motion in at 5:49.
Yes, move to
Sorry,
approve.
what did I move?
Move to that, yes.
Okay,
Second.
sorry, thank you. A motion by Steve, a second by Charlie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Nay. Declare the motion carried. So we will now move in at 5:49.
You think I should go out to Pierre for that ASBSD day on behalf of the board then, or what?
We can talk later on that too, Vince, but maybe see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too,
Yeah.
but, all right.
Okay, we are out of executive session, so we are moving on to agenda item number 15. Consider the acceptance of agreement for high school renovation mediation settlement and to authorize the superintendent to sign such agreement.
Madam President, I would like to make the motion to consider the acceptance of the agreement for the high school renovation mediation settlement and authorize Mr. Schaefer to sign that agreement.
I would second that motion.
All right, we have a motion by Tom and a second by Jenny. Any discussion?
We should probably state publicly.
Okay.
The sum that the mediation came to was $86,926. From the Baldridge and Nelson portion was $74,426. And from Allday Engineers was $12,500. Then we have a press release that has all that stipulated and a little more on it.
All right. All in favor of the motion to consider the acceptance agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Consider the motion carried. Item number 16 is the adjournment of our meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Tom. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Charlie. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
I'll say that
6:10
electronically,
PM.
I'll get to you.